So yeah, things are not looking good for this new Murano. Now, one thing I do like is the fact that they took styling cues from the Z32 300ZX. And the Nissan designers actually admit that when they were designing this Murano, the front end treatment, you can see it right here. They took inspiration from the Z32 300ZX. So with the new Z, they took inspiration from the rear of the Z32 and put it on the new Z. And then with the Murano, they took inspiration from the front of the Z32 and, yeah, molded it onto the new SUV. Now, as far as the new Murano, things aren't looking too good. So it just got a redesign. This is a brand new model. So it was scheduled to get a facelift for 2028, but that had to be put on hold. So they're already saying that this new SUV might be on the chopping block. And what's going on is they're having some in-house competition. Okay, so pretty much this is a more upscale vehicle compared to a Rogue. So people are coming in and they're snatching up the Rogue rather than the Murano. And they almost share the same space. Okay, you almost get the same amount of space on the inside. Yeah, the Murano's a little more upscale, but you pretty much get the same features in the Rogue as you would the Murano. So the only difference being the styling, of course. And with the Murano, you get a four-cylinder engine and you get a 9-speed automatic transmission. So that's like the main difference. With the Rogue, you get a three-cylinder engine and you get a CVT. Thankfully, they dropped the CVT in the Murano and they gave you a 9-speed automatic. But they also dropped the V6 too, so now you just get a four-banger. But as of right now, things are not looking good for the Murano. So as you can see, we have an SL all-wheel drive, and the total price is $50,000. But it's gonna be more. It's gonna be more than $50,000. But the thing is, they have almost 6 months worth of Murano inventory. Okay, so 6 months worth of Murano inventory, and these are not selling. And what Nissan is doing, so Nissan is making these things in Smyrna, Tennessee, and dealerships don't want them. So pretty much they have to offer these dealerships about $2,000 just so they'll take them. So yeah, Nissan kind of got to offer an incentive to these dealerships just so they'll take these Muranos because they're not selling and they're just sitting on the lots. And I just showed you how much this one is going for. So over 5 months worth of inventory, they're just sitting on the lot. And in order for dealerships to snatch them up, Nissan have to offer them about $2,000 per Murano. So yeah, that's what's going on with these. But like I said, at least they got rid of the CVT. I mean, the styling is unique. I like that they took styling cues from the earlier Z car, but these things are just not selling and they're sitting on the lot. So if you can see that, like I said, you get the 9-speed automatic and you get a four-cylinder engine. It's kind of disappointing they took away the V6, but at least they took away the CVT as well. And like I said, people are coming to Nissan dealerships and they're just getting the Rogue. Okay, the Rogue, that's one of their best-selling models. They're cross-shopping this with the Rogue and they're getting the Rogue. Although people don't like the CVT, the Rogues are outselling these 5-1. And I spoke to the gentleman in there and he confirmed it. So that's what's happening with the Murano. The facelift has been postponed. It might not get a facelift. As of right now, they're saying the future is uncertain for this model. And that's such a shame, because this is another long running model. It's been around since 2003, I believe, something like that. It came out in the early 2000s. It's one of their longer running models. So the future is uncertain for this particular SUV. We'll just have to sit back and see what happens. So here is the Pathfinder, and I am a fan of the Pathfinder. My family had a Pathfinder. It was a late 80s version, back when they were pretty much an SUV version of the hard body. I do like the way they look. They look rugged. They look durable. Don't know if they really are, but that's how they look. So let's check out the price on one of these Pathfinders. So here's a Platinum two-wheel drive, and the total price $52,000. Now that's pretty much the same price as the Murano. It's probably like $1,000 or $2,000 shy, but for the most part, they're about the same price. Yeah, the Murano's sharp. I like the way it looked, but I'll just take the Pathfinder if given the choice. I'll take the new Pathfinder over the Murano. Well, you know what I mean when I say new. They're a few model years old, but it's still a relatively new SUV. So here's a Platinum four-wheel drive, and this was $54,000. Okay, here's another. Let's check this one out. This is an SV two-wheel drive, and this one's 41. So yeah, this is one of the lower trim levels, $41,000. Not a bad price. Again, I would take this over the Murano. Okay, and here's another look at the Murano. And yeah, these guys, they're sitting on the lot. No one's buying them. Okay, like I said, over 5 months worth of inventory for the Murano. Not so sure about the Pathfinder. I got to look that up. But when I did research on the Murano, yeah, these guys are not selling. All right, so let's check out the Armada. Here's their flagship SUV, a big, full-size, true SUV. Okay, this is a very rugged SUV. It's an SL intelligent four-wheel drive, 70 grand. Yeah, pretty penny, a pretty penny. Like I said, non-luxury brands, they're charging luxury prices. So this 70 grand pretty much, I mean, that's a similar price as an Infinity. Pretty much the same price. It's in the same price range as the Infinity. Here's an SL rear wheel drive, $70,000. So yeah, again, a pretty penny. I mean, this after all is their flagship SUV, so I guess they can command a premium on it, but still, definitely Infinity territory. But then again, Infinity, they're not doing too well themselves. Okay, so Nissan's struggling, and their luxury brand is struggling as well. So we don't know what's going to happen with either of these brands. So here's a Rock Creek four-wheel drive, and this was $46,000. Okay, a Pathfinder. It's a Pathfinder, in case you missed it. So like I said, both of these brands are struggling. They have a few models that really do stand out, like the Rogue. This is their best-selling model. Okay, but they're struggling financially. Let's check this out. So here's a Rogue Platinum front-wheel drive, $45,000. You get that little 1.5 liter engine and a CVT. Okay, so let me know what you guys think about the engine. And we already spoke about the CVT, but could you justify paying $45,000 for a Rogue? Or would you just pony up an extra $5,000 and get a Pathfinder? Get one of the lower models of the Pathfinder? Or hell, would you get the Murano? I know they're not selling, but would you take a Murano? But most people, they'll check this out. They'll check out the Murano over there, and they'll just get this instead. Why, I don't know, but they'll just get the Rogue over the Murano. Okay, let's check this one out. This is a Rock Creek all-wheel drive, and this one's $36,000. That's actually not bad. I was expecting it to be about 40,000, but 36, that's not bad for a Rock Creek. But it's not my type of SUV. Now let's check out this Frontier, a Pro 4X. I like the fact that you get a bed liner, so that's a good thing. All right, so they want you to pay $51,000. So you guys let me know if you think that's a good deal or not. One thing I do like is the front end. Okay, it reminds me of the hard body pickup. That's what it reminds me of. So I like the front end treatment. It is a callback to the hard body pickup, which is a very durable truck. I spoke to a guy that has a hard body, and his has over 400,000 miles on it, and he drives it every day. I think it's a 93, but it has over 400,000 miles, and it still runs great. He drives it every day. A Nissan hard body pickup. But yeah, that's what this front end reminds me of, and that's where they took inspiration from, the hard body pickup. So they're going back to their old vehicles and taking inspiration from those old vehicles, which is a great thing. But this is a nice color. Let's check out the price, see how much they want for it. So a Pro 4X crew cab, $45,000. But after all their BS add-ons, 48,000. See all their little add-ons that you really don't need. So yeah, when it's all said and done, I know it said $45,000, but when it's all said and done, it's gonna be over $50,000. So let me know what you guys think about that price. Would you take a Frontier over a Colorado or a Canyon? because I would. I like the way it look. Uh, this one don't have a bed liner. I think the Pro 4X should come with a bed liner, but oh well. I would actually take a Frontier over a Canyon or a Colorado because I like the way it look. $46,000. The only thing I don't like is that it's lacking a bed liner. You know, when it's all said and done, you're gonna pay over 50 grand for this. I think it should at least have a bed liner. All right, so they do have a Titan on the lot, and let me know what you guys think about the Titan. Do you think they should bring the Titan back, or do you think it was a right decision to discontinue the Titan? So they're no longer going to have their full size truck. They're just going to have the Frontier. So here we have an Altima, and this is the only Altima on the lot. Yeah, if you can believe that. They have two more, but those are pre-owned. But this is the only 2025 they have on the lot, next to the Versas and the Sentras. This is the only Altima, and I personally asked the guy, and that's what he told me. This is the only Altima, and he also told me that the Altima sells. Okay, the Altima sells. So I don't know why Nissan wants to get rid of this car. That's beyond me. Automakers, they don't always do the right thing. You might think they have enough sense to do the right thing, but that's not always the case. According to what the salesman said, these sell a lot. Okay, they sell a lot of Altimas. So I don't know why they want to get rid of this car. I think it's a silly move. Maybe they'll get rid of it and bring it back. Maybe they want to get rid of it so they can push the Sentra up market. But this is actually a good car, okay? And a lot of people buy them. And a lot of owners of this car reached out and said, as long as you perform your maintenance on the CVT, it won't be a problem. So yeah, it's kind of 50-50. Some people hate the CVT, and then other owners say as long as you do your maintenance on it, it won't give you an issue. Because a lot of owners reached out to me and said they have these Altimas and it never gave them an issue, the CVT, because they stay on top of their maintenance. But again, I think it's a crazy move for them to discontinue this car because this car does sell. I understand if it wasn't a good seller, but like I said before, people want cheap, affordable sedans. Maybe the Versa's too small, maybe the Sentra's too small, and they want something a little bigger, like the Altima. They already got rid of the Maxima, but like I said before, they want to bring the Maxima back. They wanted to bring it back as an EV. No one wants EVs, so now they're thinking about bringing it back as a hybrid. And I don't know if it's going to be a mid-size or if it's going to continue being a full size. Since they're getting rid of this mid-size car, they bring the Maxima back, maybe it's going to become a mid-size to fill in this position. Or then again, it might remain a full size. We don't know, only time will tell. But they are thinking about bringing the Maxima back. Okay, but again, this is the only Altima they had on the lot. Yeah, the telltale signs are there. They really can't keep these on the lot. That's why they only have one. All right, the salesman said so. That's what he told me. All right, so that's it for this one. You guys let me know what you think. I will be making more of these dealership walk around videos. So until next time, I'll catch you guys on the next video.